What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Geeks and Goblins. It is me and my good friend Utopian Revolt. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Just finished watching Batman, so I'm on cloud nine right now.
That is fantastic. You want to give the folks at home a good breakdown on what Geeks and Goblins is? What brought us to this point?
Well, I mean, you and I like talking. We like talking about all things geeks, all things goblins. This felt like a natural stepping stone to not only, expand the OG Goblin gaming brand, but also, establish my own and just, have an excuse to be talking about all this nerdy stuff, on a weekly basis.
Oh yeah, man. I wouldn't rather be here with anybody else. I enjoy our conversations. We always have good ones. They're never fights, and I think that's like a big thing, a big reason why I wanted to do you because it's like an actual like good, healthy conversation. Never
Right.
like we're going at each other. You know what I mean? Like it's healthy, it's
Yeah.
informative. Tell the people a little bit about you.
Well, I mean, I'm a self-described geek. I love Star Wars. I love comic books. I love Batman. I love DC, Marvel, basically anything in the nerdyverse. That's what makes me tick. I've always been passionate about it. I love talking. Uh, so yeah, I'm here. Here I am doing that with a good friend of mine.
Right, man. All right. Let's see. Let me see. I because if the chat knows you, been in the chat before. So give I learned something interesting about you recently. That I'm so upset that I didn't know before. Because I think it's super interesting. Um, Assassin's Creed. Like,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
don't need to know the circumstances, but like tell them what I'm talking about. Like,
So I had the incredible opportunity a couple years back. I was still a teenager at this time. Wow, feels like it's such a long time ago. But I had the opportunity to go with my family to Montreal, visit Ubisoft Montreal, and they gave me an incredible welcome. I left with a bunch of gifts, but the biggest gift was what they ended up having me do throughout the whole day. It started with them basically bringing me to a recording studio for like motion capture. They made me put on the suit, had me do a little T pose, and kind of like sharpening a knife and stuff like that. And I paid no attention to it. But later on in the day, we go to this other room in the studio where they just had me stare at a bunch of bright lights that quite honestly blinded me for the rest of the day. But it scanned my face. And at the end of the day, before we left the studio, they just had me kind of meander over to a desk, and they're like, "Hey, listen, this is you as an NPC. We're gonna be putting you in Assassin's Creed Syndicate." And I'm in there. I'm in there in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The only video I've been able to find is someone shooting me. But fair enough. I guess that only makes sense. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's my story with Assassin's Creed. It's been a favorite franchise of mine, and it was a blast to be able to do that. Like for real, once in a lifetime opportunity.
that's super cool, man. Like I said this to you when I found out I am going to run a series of this on the days that I cannot like find anything to do on stream. I'm loading up Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and we are finding you,
Let's do it.
and I'm gonna get you. Like,
Oh no, man! All right, it has to happen. Has to happen. Just don't use a gun like that other guy I found. Try to be a little bit more creative about that.
oh yeah, no, it's I'm gonna go like as creative as I possibly can. I haven't played Syndicate, so I don't know what I'm like fully capable of yet, but I'm 100% going to like end you in the most creative way possible.
I know you've been planning it ever since I told you about it. I
I
knew it.
have
I knew
I have. The
it.
PlayStation 4 is hooked up to the Elgato as we speak. I'm ready to go. This actually, the whole thing was actually just an introduction to me saying, guys, we're going to go hunt down Utopian Revolt and put an end to it. You know, I've always been
Let's
curious. I
go.
want to know the story behind the name. Why Utopian Revolt?
That's actually a pretty recent name. I've been volunteering for certain political campaigns over the past couple years. My thing is just, pushing kindness and love out there. If we treat each other with kindness and love, I think we can just like lift the human race to the next level,
Okay.
that next level of consciousness, right? So I'm all about, continuing this revolution of a utopian vision for the future. Of course, there's no such thing as perfect, but it's something that's very near and dear to me. It's something I'm very passionate about, and that's why I'm Utopian Revolt.
Word. That's I love that. For Admiral, I love that. Now, I think that's a perfect segue into something that was super far from utopian. We just came back from a screening of The Batman. I say a screening, but we went to AMC and paid for tickets like everybody else. Um, Man, I wanted to talk about it just as we left the theater. Your thoughts, please.
It was, oh man, we had to bite our tongues like at least 20 times in like 15 minutes. It's crazy. Um, I'm gonna start off by saying that the Batman is the definitive Batman movie.
Ooh,
It it completely shocked me. I'm a personal fan of the Dark Knight trilogy, but after watching the Batman, I think it's on its whole another level. I think it's in its own league. It's not even close, in my opinion.
that's a
That's not
bold statement.
disrespect to Christopher Nolan or anything like that, but that's just how much I love this movie.
That's a bold statement, man. Like, so I feel like there's not a lot to like say as far as the premise goes. This is year two Batman. He's coming in with only a year of experience, and the city is now being plagued by this guy named the Riddler. Who, if you're familiar with the lore, you know the Riddler. But he's leaving clues and little riddles all throughout the city surrounding these murders, and the mystery behind it is um, corruption throughout the city. Uh, I I loved every second of it. I truly did. This was my second time seeing it, so just to be completely honest, I loved every second of it, from Robert Pattinson's portrayal to the Gotham. I remember telling you a few days ago, going into it, you came to me and you asked me like, is there something that I should watch before I go and see this? And I said none of the movies. Go watch Batman the animated series, because I feel like personally that's what encapsulates primarily with what I consider the character of Gotham.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I
Um, what?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, touching on that, Gotham was portrayed in such a realistic way. Like every other Batman movie, it just felt more like a set than it did a city. Whereas this one just straight up felt like a carbon copy of New York. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It felt gritty. It felt very down to the ground. It felt very crime centric, and
Yeah.
that's everything that I ever wanted from anything Batman. You know?
Yep, and I think it's I think we should preface this with of course I think it'd be safe to say this should be a spoiler free as possible, just to save some people some pain. But I couldn't agree with you more. I think I think something that always irritated me about, for example, Christopher Nolan's Batman, and if you know me, you know how I feel about Christopher Nolan. Something that irritated me about Christopher Nolan's Batman was always that the city felt too clean. It didn't feel like this like cursed city, like where everything's dirty and rotten. They kind of got it with Batman Begins, a little bit in the beginning with the I think they called it the Narrows, and I feel like it was such a little section of that. Whereas now with this Batman, the city is the Narrows. Like this is a jacked up place, man. Like you're not trying to be out after 9. You know what I mean?
No, man, yeah, no, I definitely understand what you're saying. Just you know, it's just so much emphasis on the people of Gotham
Hmm.
this time around, and I think that's where I was able to connect with the city much more than I was with that Christopher Nolan trilogy.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah. I now in comparison to the other ones, Christopher Nolan aside, like where do you think it falls between our Tim Burton Batman and our Joel Schumacher Batman? And I guess we didn't get a lot of Gotham in Batman versus Superman, Justice League, but we do have an idea of what that Gotham is like. How would you put it in comparison to the other Gotham?
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, especially about the Michael Keaton ones, right? Where it felt more like a kind of a victim of that era
Mm-hmm.
of superhero movies, where it was very cheesy, very over the top, very like twirling the mustache type of
Yeah, yeah,
villains.
yeah.
Uh, This one just felt realistic. It felt like you can connect with this not as a superhero movie, just as about a movie about crime. Which, like, if you know Batman, he's a detective first and
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
superhero second. Right.
Yeah, no, it's a detective movie, and I think that's by far my favorite thing. Well, tonight, my favorite thing about the Batman, it is a absolute detective movie. Like, of course, there's combat, but it's a detective movie, and I think something that's important about that is the way it's shot. Like, cinematography wise, oh my god, like
Oh,
it's so gorgeous.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Like there were certain scenes where I just thought to myself, I've never seen this in a Batman movie, much less a superhero movie. Like they did some very interesting stuff. And what's really cool is that the cinematography matched up with the musical score in a way that I
Hmm.
thought was very masterful. And it brought me into the movie that much more.
Oh yeah, they move together so well. Like, and I was telling you this after the fact. One of the few things we talked about after the fact, I was like, watching the trailers, I was like, I don't like the score. It seemed like loud and boisterous, and I was like, oh, it's too much. I thought it was way too much. But returning to that, I was watching it. It it works in tandem with the film so well. It helps move those scenes along, and it helps build that suspense. Speaking of the cinematography, what do you think of the fights?
Oh man, so the fights, they were so it's funny because in superhero movies the fights are usually like the centerpiece, right?
Yeah.
What they focus on. Whereas this, oh, we have a little surprise appearance by a little Layla
Aw,
here, new little adopted kitty.
look at the
She wants to
baby.
say hi.
Everybody say hi to the
But
baby. Oh, Mittens
this
isn't here. I
little
just realized Mittens is not part of Geeks and Goblins, unfortunately. But Mittens has a little friend. Oh, how
so
appropriate
now
we're
going
talking about the Batman and we have the cat pop up.
oh, yeah. I mean, okay. So going back to the fights didn't feel like they were the center of any of the scenes. It felt like the fights were kind of happening around what they wanted you to focus on,
Hmm.
which I thought was super awesome. Like and something I hadn't really seen before. Um, and just yeah, I mean, seeing a couple of other characters fight with Batman, it just it really shocked me to the core how great the fighting choreography was, just how well put together everything was.
Oh yeah. Specifically to like highlight one without giving away too much about it. There is and it's in the trailer, so it's not a giveaway too much at all. There is a fight scene in a club, and what caught that particular fight scene for me was it it didn't feel like a staged fight. It just happened. It flowed into the actual film so well. It didn't feel like we were setting up for it. We didn't it was so perfect. Like, and I had to that second watch was actually what made me realize, like, yo, it just happens. Like, no setup, not too hard. It doesn't feel forced in the movie. It's just like this is a situation he would find himself in where he may have to fight, and it played out super well. And I think it plays to his Batman very well. Speaking of which, uh, his Batman portrayal. So I, I'm torn saying he's my favorite Batman. Sometime I was a big fan of the Ben Affleck Batman, huge fan of the, but he Robert Pattinson's kind of stealing my heart a little bit. I kind of got a little crush on emo Batman.
Yeah, I think so. And what I like the most, he wasn't emo just to be emo.
Yeah.
He was emo for a reason, and it fit the story so well. And I just like talking about this out loud with you just makes me realize how natural everything felt. And I feel like every single second of the movie played into the next second of the movie, and everything just felt so cohesive. And oh my God. Yeah, no. Robert Pattinson killed it as Batman. He killed it as Bruce Wayne. He killed it as a human being. He killed it as an actor. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some nominations for this performance.
Oh, definitely, like maybe like a Kids Choice Award or something like that. I feel like it's such a good performance though. Like, I hold it in regard personally, um, both his Batman and I was about to say Joker, both his Batman and his Bruce Wayne performance, I hold it in as high regard as I hold Joaquin Phoenix's performance in the Joker as the Joker. Like me personally, that's how much I feel like he invested in that role. I feel like as Batman, he does everything that he's supposed to do. He puts off the brooding. Like he has even little funny moments where like I don't want to say he breaks character, but like for him it's almost like that awkward friend that like that thinks literal things are funny. Like I think this wouldn't be a spoiler line at all, but there's a moment where someone says, "Oh, I've got you on assaulting a cop," and he's like, "You've got me on assaulting 3." Like that's hilarious. Like that's
Yeah.
funny. Like that's Loki like something Batman would say, and a lot of those scenes that he has really feed like really give the animated series vibe for me for me definitely. Um,
Right.
Interesting question in reference to his Batman. Do you feel like this is a Batman that could be in the Justice League?
I feel like it'd be different than any Justice League we've seen before, and I think it'd
Okay.
be. It reminds me of those old animated Justice League cartoons, where Batman was there, definitely like that, the odd man out of the group, where he kind of felt like a lone ranger, a part of this bigger group of heroes. But I can absolutely see that happening. And if you ask me, I think that's an even more interesting take on the Justice League. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I agree with you. I do think I'd like to see him maybe in a few years. You know what I mean? Like definitely a year two Batman definitely doesn't fit into Justice League at all. Like I definitely could see it maybe like 5 or 6 years down the line. He's a little bit more seasoned. We may be getting into Robin territory and stuff like that, you know. But I could definitely see him. I think he would fit well. The question I feel like is more raised around that is like, what would a Justice League around his Batman like? You know, would he play well with the Boy Scout like Clark Kent? Because you know there's that best friend aspect that they
Right.
have. So like, how well would that fit in? Robert Pattinson, I think did a really. I think he would be a pretty decent Justice League Batman. What's your overall opinion on him, and also in comparison to other Batman actors?
So he definitely was a different take, right? Then actually that just goes hand in hand with the entire movie. It was a different take on Batman, a different take on Bruce Wayne, a different
Mm-hmm.
take on the Wayne family. So I think in comparison to other Batmans, he's right up there at the top, right? I'm thinking Ben Affleck. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about Michael Keaton.
All right, you say right up there
Not
at the
trying
top,
to
but
like
you don't say at
disrespect
the
any
top.
names. I just think that he played the role that he needed to play for this movie, for this part of Bruce Wayne's journey.
Okay.
And I think by the end of the movie, we get a better taste of what his I am Batman would look like. And I'm all for it, man.
Okay. Okay. I can dig that. I can dig that. So I think the elephant in the room because he sets such like a high standard for the character. Robert Pattinson's Batman versus Christian Bale's Batman. I gotta know what your opinion is. I gotta know where you stand.
Oh man, I think you noticed me not trying to mention Christian Bale at all in
Be
that
honest.
comparison
Be
early.
honest. Let it fly. Let it rip.
So I think Christian Bale was definitely a superhero Batman, like a superhero first and a Bruce Wayne second. Whereas I feel like Robert Patterson was Bruce Wayne first and Batman second.
Okay.
And it, it all comes down to personal preference, what I'm feeling at the time. Sometimes I just want, that superhero. Sometimes I want just that Bruce Wayne. But I think right now in this day and age, I think Robert Patterson takes the cake for me.
Okay. Okay. I will combat that with I think Robert Pattinson's Batman is better. I think Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne absolutely. And I don't think that's his fault at all. I think that is a byproduct of the film that we have. He doesn't know how to be Bruce, you know? Like he is just emo Batman. He is dealing with just being emo. So I cannot wait. Like I know there's sequel talks happening, but I cannot wait to see like where this character goes when he finally decides to take on that, I guess, playboy um, Playboy persona. So real quick, the other characters. Let's run through those guys. Riddler, I think, astounding. I
Oh.
I'm ooh, something almost came out that I feel like I shouldn't say. I'm gonna let you speak your piece first, and I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. I'm gonna try to be the bad guy that people hate here.
I think the Riddler was psychopathic. He was some of the scenes with him in the movie were just chilling. Like some of his laughs, his
Yeah.
mannerisms, it just really made me feel uncomfortable in the best way possible.
Okay. Okay. I like that. In reference to, say, I don't want to say Jim Carrey's Riddler because I think they're two separate characters.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
they're two
it's a
different
whole
takes.
different universe.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
But in the grand scheme, in the grand league of all other Batman villains that we've had on TV, where do you think he stands?
So it's all in relation to this movie. I keep going back to this.
Yeah.
This movie was very much different because it was a realistic take on Gotham. And for me, that made it even more relatable. His intentions and what he was trying to accomplish made sense and made you kind of root for him in a way, but the way he was going about it absolutely like rubbed you the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I it's hard to make those sort of direct comparisons with
I
this
know,
movie. I feel like,
but
but I genuinely believe he was the best Riddler only because he was the most villainous Riddler that I have personally encountered.
okay, okay. Okay, now I'm going to take this opportunity to say my slanderous statement, which I'm is going to piss somebody off. I might lose a follower or two. Emergency exit if you're here. I swear, if you unfollow me and follow me again and ruin my analytics, I will find you. I preferred the Riddler to the Joker from the Dark, and I mean that. I'm not saying from a performance standpoint. I think Heath Ledger obviously deserved all of his accolades. Rest in peace to Heath Ledger. Did an amazing performance as the Joker, but as a Batman villain, as someone that I'm like terrified of, that actually moves the plot forward and the portrayal and what he means to the world that he's in. I absolutely think the Riddler was a better villain than than Christopher Nolan's.
You know, it's funny because my immediate reaction is to like immediately just tell you that that's heresy, right? Because Heath Ledger's Joker is not just in Batman history, but in movie history is up in like in upper echelons
Yeah.
of villains, right? But I, I think you're right, man. I just genuinely believe you're right because the Riddler in this movie was terrifying.
Yeah.
But I think it was terrifying because it felt so real. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
see something like that actually happening. And it just it makes you feel even more scared, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I agree with you. As crazy as that sounds, I agree with you.
I think my biggest problem with like the Christopher Nolan villains has always been like they always just felt like mob guys. Like
Yeah.
they always just even Joker, like, and even to a degree Bane and Talia al Ghul and the League of Shadows, it all just felt like mob stuff. I felt
Yeah.
like I was watching a Martin Scorsese movie, like with like just a fresh coat of paint on it sometimes. Whereas with this, like, it fits so well. It fits absolutely so well, and even down to like characters like Catwoman. Catwoman was done justice in this movie.
Oh hell yeah.
Catwoman
Hell
was done absolute justice. Whether we're talking about like the old like Justice League Unlimited stuff, Batman animated series stuff, like any of the animated Batman things or the comic books for that matter, I honestly think she may be the most comic accurate character in the entire film. Like,
So you're telling me that she's more accurate than Halle Berry's Catwoman?
no, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. Halle Berry's Catwoman is the pinnacle and the absolute plateau that is comic book acting as a whole. Like,
Right.
Christian Bale, forget about him. Robert Pattinson, forget about Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. What? No one's trying to see that. I feel like we've been done a disservice with not having received a Catwoman 2 starring the Halle Berry. Just saying.
Right.
Just
Right.
saying.
No, you're completely right.
And you know,
No.
I think the most ideal casting in that sense, like, because we got to get into the romance of that. We've got to get Danny DeVito as Batman, because who else is really going to be able to pull off the nuance
No.
that is the
I,
character?
I think you're right. I mean, no one can. I don't think.
Yeah,
Maybe Channing Tatum, but I think he's too macho for that. You know, Halle Berry's Catwoman wouldn't fall for that.
exactly. And then we can lead into a whole Batman Beyond with George Clooney reprising his role as Batman. Like it'd be fantastic. Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Terry McGinnis. Yeah, and Chris Rock gets to come on because we haven't seen him in a while. Chris Rock
Right.
and Eddie Murphy actually can interchangeably be the role of the Joker.
You know, this started off as a joke, but you won me over.
I hope not. I hope not. You're gonna come to me tomorrow and be like, "Yo, I wrote a script. It's amazing." Oh no,
Going
God.
back to this rendition of Catwoman, though, like you're right, man. Like it kicked ass. Not just as Catwoman, but also Selena Kyle. You know, this movie did a fantastic job of portraying everybody, not just as their role, but as the person as well. But I think this was very much. I think it was as much a Catwoman movie as much as it was a Batman movie.
Oh yeah, it
which
felt
was
like the
crazy.
Bat and the Cat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I gotta ask, because we gotta wrap up the Batman section here. Is there anything you disliked?
I have not had much time to process the movie. I'll be completely honest.
Okay.
I've been trying to think about anything that I've disliked about the movie. I can't think of anything, which is crazy because I usually come out of a movie with one or two things, but this I'm not going to say that this was a perfect movie objectively, but this was the perfect Utopian Revolt movie.
Okay.
This was the perfect. It made me fall in love with Batman all over again. I think the pacing was perfect. I've heard some complaints about it, but I think every single second of the movie was earned.
Yeah.
I think that the main core of the movie was all about fear, and the pacing it allowed you to decompress after a scene, and then it rolls you right into this like very tense other scene. I love the movie. I can't think of anything I disliked about it, but you know that can change with a second time watching it.
Absolutely.
But as of right now, I can't think of anything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think my only dislike. I see the comments popping off a little bit right now, and I do have to agree with one moment of dislike for me with the pacing. There is a moment I can act this out here, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be brilliant. Let me move over. That y'all get to see my living room. There is a moment where Batman moves this slow.
Yeah.
And it drove me insane. Not like in a bad way, but like definitely in a like, all right, we've got some time. We said we were making a 3-hour movie, and we're making a 3-hour movie. Like it didn't drive me insane as it drove my wife, but I do think there were a couple of long shots that could have been cut down a little bit. Would have killed the runtime of the movie, no, but I think there were a couple of moments that could have done with just kind of getting to the point a little bit. As far as like, I admittedly at first when I left the film, I was like, okay, maybe he was a little too brooding. Maybe there was like moments of like I don't want to say like he could have been like a little lighter, but I think the goal for him was to portray terror. Like he's supposed to embody fear for the people of Gotham. So I liked seeing it switch on at moments where he would be, you know, conversing with other characters, and he would need to switch on like the whole, all right, time to put some fear in this guy. Like I got to make him talk. Those are the moments that I initially didn't like, but fell in love with actually on a second viewing. So overall, your thoughts on the Batman? Let's call it how many geeks do you give the Batman?
Out of how many geeks are we talking about?
Let's go 5 geeks. I always thought 10 was a little too open in the air.
Right. 5 Geeks.
Ooh,
5 Geeks.
5 geeks out of
Yeah.
geeks. Five
This
geeks.
is one of my favorite movies in the last decade.
Ooh, that's
I'm not
bold.
even being facetious. That's exactly how I feel.
Oof, that's bold. That's I gotta give it 4.5 goblins.
Okay.
Four and a
That's fair
half
enough.
goblins. Again, the chat is popping off without having gotten into it because we didn't really get into it because we're running over on the Batman section right now. They did do Alfred dirty. My man Alfred, no spoilers, really. My man Alfred is in this movie for 3 scenes.
Yeah.
And they're doing Alfred dirty, man. Alfred is the backbone of that character. He really is. And I'd
Yeah.
like to hope that in a sequel we get some more love for Alfred.
Right. I completely agree with that.
And here we are. We're moving on. I think this is going great. Like,
Yeah.
moving
I'm having
on,
fun. You having fun?
I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time, especially now I finally got to get all that talk about the Batman out of the way. I've been needing to get it out. I've had to get it off my chest. Now it is time to move on. Let's talk about Kenobi. General Kenobi. We got the trailer. If what was it? Yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? It was the day before yesterday.
It was, yeah, yeah. During that investor call.
Yes, during the Disney investor call. Which, by the way, if you've never listened to a Disney investor call, it was an interesting experience. All the before stuff. Not gonna get into the before stuff at all. But what we are gonna do is we are going to take a look together at that trailer. So I'm gonna go ahead and send it on over to the trailer screen. Silence yourself so that the people can hear the trailer.
Stay hidden. The key to hunting Jedi is patience. Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi Code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
It's the end bit of the music for me. It's the end bit of the music for me that is always just kind of dun 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 dun. dun. It sent me, bro. It completely sent me. I became a whole separate person.
Oh man, listen, I'm calling it right now. Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be the pinnacle of Star Wars. Nothing is
Ooh.
ever going to be able to top it. It's oh man, the fact that it's a limited series, 6 episodes, it's essentially like two movies, something like that, or like a trilogy. We're getting basically an Obi-Wan trilogy in the form of a limited series. Um, he looks fucking fantastic.
He looks
Ewan
so good.
McGregor, like, oh my
He
god,
looks
the
so
guy.
good. Like it.
Ah,
Oh, that's a bold statement. Like pinnacle of Star Wars. Don't you know the Mandalorian exists? Din Djarin is right there, carrying
I know,
this franchise
I know.
on his back. Like,
I agree. I agree. But I have one counterpoint though.
okay,
Like Ewan McGregor, man. Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Obi-Wan Kenobi lifted the prequel trilogy by himself.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? He was Din Djarin before Din Djarin was carrying the Star Wars
Oh
franchise.
yeah.
And we got Inquisitors, we had the whole Jedi hunt, we had Duel of the Fates in the trailer,
Oh,
we have Hayden Christensen coming back.
oh.
This is all that like young Utopian Revolt ever wanted from Star Wars.
And I mean, that's just a representation of like Star Wars fans, because like this is something that Star Wars fans have been like dreaming of for ages. All we have wanted was like a follow up. Like, tell us those years of what Kenobi was doing on Tatooine or anywhere else. Like, that's why this movie is like so exciting. Like, it presents so much opportunity, right? Like, we get to see
Right.
he's not even just on Tatooine, right? We get to see him. I forget the name of that planet that they showed one of the Inquisitors on. Um,
I think
it's
no,
new.
it was actually in Jedi. It was in Jedi Fallen Order. It was like where the fortress for the Inquisitors are.
I'm looking it up right now because I need to know. It's inspired, to my understanding, inspired off of Hong Kong. So that actually does bring up an interesting point for me. I don't think I ever got to have this conversation with you, but Star Wars, in my opinion, as of late, has started to feel a little pedestrian. Like, pedestrian might. It started to seem a little too much like Star Trek. So, and what I mean by that is, let's take the Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, for example. In Book of Boba Fett, I think something that universally the fans were just not fond of was the little bike rider guys, the little mod squad that they threw in there.
The Power
And
Rangers, you mean?
yeah, it seemed to like be an addition to like all these like new things that they're tossing into the Star Wars franchise. The casino in the Last Jedi, that just seemed like so clean and so fresh. And for me, it's extending even into like what we're getting in Star Wars from uh like reality perspective, where now we have the Galactic Star Cruiser experience at Disney. And if you've seen any of that experience, like, it just seems so clean. It's, and not to say that Star Wars should be dirty, but like, I feel like we're starting to see Star Wars become a lot more of what a lot more of what it's not. And Kenobi is super refreshing and exciting for me because it feels like Star Wars.
Yeah,
It feels like
I
Star Wars.
I completely agree with that. Honestly, if the new shows and even the new movies, it felt kind of like a return to the prequel era of Star Wars, where everything was very polished, everything felt very kid centric. I understand that Star Wars was always a kid property aimed at children, but at least the original trilogy felt very mature in that matter. The world felt alive, it felt lived in, it felt rusty, it felt like a world. And I got that sense with the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer in a way that I haven't really with recent Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, like, and I think it's kind of what Star Wars needs to be right now. It we going back to those roots of what Star Wars is, you know, that love letter in a lot of ways to spaghetti westerns, as well as a love letter to old samurai films, like old Kurosawa films. Like, that blend is exactly what Star Wars needs to go back to. Star Wars should always, I feel like, going forward, be a love letter to the originals because they were so unique. And now I feel like a big part of what we're getting with Star Wars doesn't feel unique anymore. And I feel like taking away a lot of the extended universe stuff that we had previously, we're relying on so much new material when the material is out there and people want to see it. Like, can you imagine? I'm now going to test your depths of like the extended universe here. Can you imagine if we get Mara Jade here?
Oh
And
man, oh man, yeah.
like,
I can't imagine that, and I've imagined it. It's freaking awesome. Let's do it.
Mara Jade, yeah, let's do it. I'm here for it. Like Mara Jade, like I wonder if they're gonna find a way to integrate Din Djarin. Are we gonna get the Mandalorian and the child in this at all? I think the timelines kind of add up more or
I
less.
um I don't think so. Actually, I think from what I read that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay,
To give you an example, Jedi Fallen Order was only 5 years, so it's still
gotcha,
going to be within that time period between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, whereas the Mandalorian is after Return of the Jedi.
gotcha.
Um, so I don't think we're going to
Oh,
be
I'm
seeing
tripping.
any
I'm
of that.
sorry. I knew that. Like, I'm big tripping.
uh, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see some other characters. I have seen some rumors of Bail Organa coming back and being shown up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rosario Dawson come back as Ahsoka.
hmm
Would honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Liam Neeson come back as the Force of Qui-Gon. I've
Qui-Gon,
heard that
the
rumored
chat
as
is
well.
calling for Qui-Gon.
Yeah, it needs to
Like,
happen. It needs.
and just so we can, I don't want to leave anybody in the dark. Can we elaborate a little bit on who Mara Jade is?
Right. So Mara Jade is essentially Luke Skywalker's lover in the original expanded universe. Very much his equal in terms of leadership, in terms of just general badassery. She had that iconic red hair, purple lightsaber. She used to work for the Empire. She defected and like started working with Luke and became just an overall kick-ass Jedi. We haven't seen any hints of her showing up in this in the new canon, uh, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that, considering we have a 30-year time period that hasn't really been explored after Return of the Jedi and pre The Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, there's just so much unseen and like untested stuff with Star Wars that they could go. Things that you would like to see.
I think we've already gone over a couple of them. Qui-Gon Jinn for sure. Like, I
Absolutely.
think it's about time that we see Liam Neeson come back to Star Wars.
I don't think it's gonna
I'm
happen.
excited to right.
I don't
I'm
think it's
excited
gonna.
to see Hayden. You don't think it's gonna happen?
No, not at all. I'm sorry. I think Liam Neeson is done with the franchise. If anything,
I
we might
think
get him like how we get Luke.
I think we're not going to get him as a full blown Force ghost visually because I believe in the end of Revenge of the Sith they said that he was still training, but he's teaching the other Jedi on how to become Force ghosts. But
hmm
I do absolutely think that we hear Liam Neeson's voice talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi every now and then.
Okay, okay, I can
Um,
accept that.
how, how about you? Is there like anything you're particularly looking forward to or excited about or wanting out of this?
More Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I wouldn't be upset if like for the every episode they just blasted Duel of the Fates. I don't even need dialogue. I just want Duel of the Fates. Um, jokes aside, the rematch.
The
The
rematch.
rematch.
So we got that in Rebels,
Yeah.
and we got that in Rebels, which is set 10 years, 5 to 10 years after Obi-Wan Kenobi. So if we do get that rematch, I feel like it's going to be the very, very end of the series, and it's going to be like a time jump. And
Oh.
we're going to be seeing live action Ezra for the first time.
Ooh.
That's been rumored for a long time. But yes, you're absolutely right. I need to see that in live action.
Live action Ezra. We're bringing those Rebels characters in. That's what we're doing. That's what you want to do.
Yes, sir. I mean, in the original Rebels episode where it was that samurai style rematch, Ezra
Yeah.
was in there. He was the whole reason why Darth Maul was led to Obi-Wan. So yeah, I just need to see this in live action, and it would be kick-ass to see Ezra because we're probably going to be seeing him in the Ahsoka show anyways.
Okay, I'll hope for that as well. That's on my list, and I will also agree with the chat here. Cal Kestis. Are we
Oh,
gonna get some Cal
oh,
Kestis?
I mean, okay, so they are going to be showing the Fort Inquisitorius, I think is the name, where the Cal Kestis invaded at the end of Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
Spoilers, sorry about that. Um,
If you haven't played it
I
by
don't
now,
know.
it's too bad.
I I think it'd be the prime opportunity to show him off in live action because we are starting to ramp up to the sequel coming out. Uh, but I don't see it happening, at least not yet.
You don't.
No,
I
I
don't know.
do not see it happening.
I think it's a perfect opportunity. I agree though. I'm not entirely too sure that it's going to happen, and I think I need to correct myself. Okay, I was thinking of another character, another actor. Pardon. I'm not necessarily sure what Cameron Monaghan, the actor that portrays Cal Kestis, is doing right now. For some reason, I thought he was the actor that is going to be portraying what's his name, Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was going to say that it may be just a little too it's way too many hopes, but I'm thinking of a whole separate actor altogether. I'm not necessarily sure what he's been doing, but I think it would be a good opportunity to bring him back on. Whether or not it'll happen, I don't know, but I think he would be a great fit into the character. I do think it would be way too ambitious, way too.
I think it's going to happen very soon. I just don't think it's going to happen in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I think if anything, it might be in the Ahsoka series or any of these like Empire, the Empire era shows, or even like the Return of the Jedi era shows.
Yeah,
I think that the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is going to be very much focused on Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'd be surprised if we saw Cal Kestis.
Yeah,
I would welcome it, but I don't see it happening.
I think you bring up an interesting point there. I think one thing that super pissed me off with Book of Boba Fett, we never really got to focus on Boba Fett, like outside of those flashbacks. You know, we got the flashback stuff that kind of like set up where his mind is right now, really kind of what his motivations are. But after that point, maybe we got another episode, and then it was like, boom, we're getting Din Djarin's back. Then we got Luke, Ahsoka. Like it went all over the place, and we never. Book of Boba Fett really felt more like a stepping stone to get us to Mandalorian season 3. So I mean, I hate to make the joke about it, but it felt like Mandalorian season 2.5. Like,
yeah, I think you're completely right about that. I think that it was a little unfortunate. It felt like the Book of Boba Fett was more of a prequel to an actual Boba Fett show. But that's exactly my point. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be very much contained to the Obi-Wan story.
Yeah.
And I would hate for the same thing to happen to Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I just need to have 6 1-hour episodes of Ewan McGregor without any distractions from Ewan McGregor.
I hope so. Just because we've talked about him so much, it sparked something in my mind. Do you think that Cal Kestis is deserving of cameos and becoming a presence in Star Wars? I know when he came out, some of that conversation we'll leave aside. I don't think it's really. I don't think that parts of his reception should live on this show, but I will say his reception as a character wasn't met, I think, as warmly as they would have liked. He doesn't, I will admit, I don't think he's that special of a character. I think he serves well for video game purposes to explain that story of like a Padawan that's surviving after Order 66. But we also live in a world with your Ezras, and I always forget the other name of the other Jedi and Rebels.
Kanan?
Yes, Kanan. We live in a world with Kanans and Ezras. You know, at this point, we're talking about kind of similar characters in two different mediums. I was not that impressed with Cal Kestis. Frankly, I was more impressed with the Inquisitor. That was the villain in the story.
I agree with that.
We don't see that side of Star Wars often. So we always see like the Jedi perspective, but we very seldom get to see the villain perspective. And honestly, that was something that I wanted out of Book of Boba Fett as well. Not necessarily a villain, but you know, that underbelly of Star Wars, that seedy underbelly. But even, you know, they've transitioned Boba Fett into this kind of the nice guy a little bit, which I've never been a big Boba Fett fan. I always thought the Boba Fett love was a little overblown and kind of like exaggerated for a character that wasn't there very much. But, you know, I feel like they're trying to Disney the bad in Star Wars. So I feel like a story about the Inquisitors, or at least that Inquisitor from Fallen Order, would have been really interesting.
Yeah, I think going back to your original question, I think Cal Kestis is worthy of a cameo. I think he was a little boring in Jedi Fallen Order, but I think it's very much like going back to the Batman, kind of like Robert Patterson in the year two of Batman. There's still so much room for Cal to grow as as a person, as like a personality, and
That's
as a
fair.
Jedi. And it would be interesting to see him in the big screen, and I think the big screen would give him the added depth that a video game, or at least Jedi Fallen Order, wasn't able to.
That's fair. I can agree to that. That's pretty fair. And also, it's Pattinson. Pattinson.
Oh yes, yes. Apologies.
I meant to say something about it earlier where I was like, he'll get it right. But I agree. I completely agree. So real quick, let's get over a weekly roundup. This is the section where we're gonna like briefly head over some of the things that happened this week. But would take up too much time. We'd love to be here for you guys for like 4 or 5 hours. We could do this all day, but unfortunately, we have wives and lives and girlfriends and kittens. So the weekly roundup. You want to start us off?
We had Sony State of Play. They showed off some pretty cool things like Exo Primal, which is being made by, I believe it was Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of like a Dino Crisis meets Earth Defense Force type of game. Let's see. We also had Returnal. They announced co-op, and they announced an Endless Tower.
Really?
Playing that game co-op. Azu, I'm looking at you. We're doing that. We're
Okay.
going to play that co-op. That it looks like so much fun.
I like the little bit of Returnal that I played.
What happened?
No, I was saying I like the little bit of Returnal that I played.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It reminds me kind of like it's like a roguelike like Hades, but it has that Dark Souls type of feel to it too. And I think it was just a very interesting game overall. But let's see. I forget some of the other things that they've announced. Let me see if I can quickly.
The Gundam Evolution, I think it's called.
Yes.
The Gundam Overwatch, more or less.
Yes. What are your thoughts on that?
I love Overwatch. I love Gundam. It's maybe my number 3 favorite anime franchise like ever. So you give me those two things, you make a baby, I'm a happy boy. As long as I get to beat somebody's ass as Gundam Barbatos, I am a happy man. As long as I get to chop somebody up as Gundam Death Scythe, I am a happy man. Like, give me more Gundam. I can make a whole segment on Gundam. I'm sorry. Right. The old Gundam PS2 games, that's all I'm going to say. If you grew up with Gundam PS2 games, you know why I love it. Moving on.
Well, to follow up on that, the last thing I want to talk about with State of Play, there were other things announced, but it's very similar to how you feel about Gundam. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection.
Ooh.
Holy crap, that is happening, and I am here for it. I'm so excited for that.
Dude, I'm a franchise fan, so I understand.
So aside of the State of Play, we had Elden Ring come out. Everyone's been talking about Elden Ring. I've played like around 7 hours. I'm slacking compared to some other people in the OG Goblin gang. But we also had Gran Turismo 7 came out. I've played a little bit more of that than I have Elden Ring.
I want to
play
it.
Just because it legitimately feels like you're driving the cars. Because they have motion sensing that's like super accurate. And then the haptic feedback and the triggers for the DualSense controller. It's so impressive what they've done. I think it's worthy of Game of the Year discussion.
Okay, that's bold.
Yeah, that's a little hot take right there. We could talk more about that in another episode. I would love to be talking about Gran Turismo. I think rounding out the roundup is WWE 2K22. Yes. I'm not a big fan of those games, to be honest. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Just that it was a release. I feel like it'd be important to remind people what comes out as well. Right. It did release today, so apparently it's received very well. I know 2K21 was apparently abysmal, like as far as the release goes. It's either 21 or 20, and I know that it set the franchise back super hard. I know as a kid, me and my cousins, the WCW games, the WWE games, like we went ham at the family reunions. So like that game does have a little space in my memory banks and in my heart. Will I be picking it up? No, but for those of you that are interested out there, it also released. I would like to bring up, it might be a triggering subject for some, just to round out the roundup. Rumors are circulating right now that the RTX 3090 Ti will be launching at the end of the month. Do I think we need a 3090 Ti? No. Do gamers need 3090s? Period. No, you do not need it. Stop it. You are not doing machine learning. Like, you do not need it. Go home, reassess your life, return it, and get a 3080. Like, you don't need it. But if you have it, I'm happy for you, and I am actually.
You know what, man? I love the fact that you threw that in there just to spite AjDarkfire.
I have to.
All love, man. Love that you're watching the show. But yeah, that's that's a nice way to end the roundup, I think.
Yes, I think so as well. That is the weekly roundup. Now, if you will give us all a minute, I am going to jump us to a short break. When we return, we'll be discussing Star Wars Eclipse and Pokemon Gen 9. Please, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Geeks and Goblins. I hope you didn't miss us too bad. I hope you didn't miss us too bad. Where did we leave off? What are we on now? Star Wars Eclipse.
Star Wars Eclipse.
What is Star Wars Eclipse for those that are the uninitiated, as Bane would say?
So, for all those Padawans out there who don't know what Star Wars Eclipse is, it's a story-driven with action mechanics video game set in a new era of Star Wars that was just introduced in a publishing campaign for books and comic books. It's called the High Republic, set roughly maybe 200 years prior to the Phantom Menace. So you're still going to have some characters like Yoda being there, but nothing like Anakin or Obi-Wan, any of those like main central characters of the prequel trilogy. Yep. So it's essentially like the canon version of the Old Republic of the past. So it's being made by Quantic Dream, who they have fame for working on Heavy Rain, Detroit, Become Human, and I believe there's another one. I think it's Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah. They're basically working on it, and it's rumored to come out. When is it rumored to come out? You want to just say that out loud real quick?
Oh yeah. Let the world know. It is rumored 2027, 2028. Like, now yes, it is a cinematic adventure based story game that's supposed to be adding some action adventure elements to it. That trailer blew us away. Like, the Star Wars fandom was in shambles. Like, I remember watching the trailer and going like, what is this? Like, what the hell? Like, what are we watching? What is it? It looks beautiful. Like, what is this? I remember just being absolutely floored. And just to hear that it's catching a 6-year delay, that's hefty for a video game.
Yeah.
That's so hefty.
Yeah.
And I think you may be a little bit more informed as to why the delay happened, but fill us in. Let us know.
So when they put out that trailer, the main focus of the trailer, of course, was to get people hyped up for the video game, but it had a secondary purpose to recruit developers to the studio. A whole 2-3 months have passed since the Game Awards, since the trailer even came out, and the positions that they've been trying to fill are still open. So they're struggling to get developers to join, and it's probably because of everything going on with Quantic Dream. The head of the studio, David Cage, he's had some sexual harassment suits or claims against him. There's been reports of toxicity and crunch, overworking in the studio, and it's unfortunate that such a shitty workplace is going to ruin possibly what could have been the greatest Star Wars game of all time. I'm telling you, like months before this was announced, they had announced the Knights of the Old Republic remake,
Yeah.
and that shot up to my number one anticipated game.
Still
for
my
the
number one
foreseeable future.
anticipated game.
Right. But Star Wars Eclipse actually surpassed it. It just looks so cool. The idea that it would be like this RPG with action mechanics,
Yeah.
I was all for it. Apparently, it's rumored to have multiplayer mechanics to it as well.
Really?
But at this point, who even knows if this game's going to come out at this point?
Look, man, it's kind of a shame what the back end of the video game industry is right now. And I'd say kind of a shame. It's a shame what the back end of the video game industry is right now. Everything that was going on with Blizzard Activision, obviously stuff going on right now with Quantic Dream, pardon. It was such a male dominated industry, and it requires so much change, and that's not even like touching on like crunch stuff. Like which is not good in any business, but like it's a shame that that we can't seem to get it together enough to get games out. Like this isn't like we're pushing the game back in a year, we're pushing the game back in 2 years. This is a 6-year delay, 6-7 year delay that I will be almost 40. I will be almost 40 by the time this game potentially comes out. Like, what am I supposed to do with it? What am I supposed to do with that? And for a game that could be super influential to the franchise itself, you know, Star Wars, I think we took a step in the right direction with Jedi Fallen Order. I think we absolutely did as far as like quality of game. I don't think we'd gotten such good games like that since KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. And
right.
To have more cinematic experiences, to have more story-driven games in Star Wars is so important, because those old games, while they did have good story elements, those older games were super just kind of like action-heavy, especially when you're looking at Battlefront 1, Battlefront, and then, you know, the new Battlefront 1, Battlefront. Story is such an important element to Star Wars, and the fact that we don't have many strong story games in Star Wars, I was really looking forward to this one, and man, I don't know if 40-year-old Chris has the patience.
I mean, you know, that's assuming it even like gets to the finish line. Unfortunately, I think there's too much smoke here. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that it's been canceled as early as like the end of this year, if not even earlier.
Not the route of 1313.
Yeah. Oh, that's yet another game that could have been like at the very pinnacle of Star Wars video games that was just canceled, and it's heartbreaking, man. Especially like with Star Wars and Disney trying to push the High Republic. We're getting a Disney Plus show.
Yep.
We're getting more video games in the High Republic. We're getting we're rumored to be getting a movie in the High Republic. It's a shame. It really is, and this topic, like, it needed to be talked about, but I'm heartbroken right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's like a prime example, a little bit of what Cyberpunk kind of suffered from as well. Like, the hype engine has become the selling point for video games. Before we even see gameplay games nowadays, companies are pushing for like the pre-order now, we gotta go platinum. Like, oh, also, we also need people to come work. Like, this is going to be the new It game. Like, Cyberpunk was touting itself as, like, the greatest game of all time, almost. So, I mean, like, it sucks so hard that, you know, we are in a day and age, and it's not even necessarily just about video games. We live in a day and age now where it's the hype machine fuels. Like, admittedly, I was more hyped for Batman than I should have been. I'm not even a Batman fan. Like, I am a Batman hater, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I'm familiarized myself with his lore and like the mythology of the character, but like I would not generally be excited for a Batman movie. But like, it was so hyped. The marketing was done so well. And I was telling Azu, the marketing team behind Cyberpunk, they just need to start their own firm, because they sold that game like it was nobody's business, and they sold that game like it was King Midas's hand in a box, and we got Like we got pudding. We got like a half a pudding cup initially. Like and it
Yeah.
is, and I feel like that was probably a little bit of what they were trying to start doing in Star Wars Eclipse. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't want to come for them like that, but like how dare they give us a CGI trailer for a game we're not going to see in for almost a decade.
Listen, all I want to say, continuing that trend of like Cyberpunk's marketing team needing to start their own firm. Same thing goes to whoever created this trailer. They need to make a full blown like show or movie with that team. Like that needs to happen. That needs to happen.
I'd like to think because of the magnitude of the IP and the franchise, I'd like to think what ends up happening um, is maybe we don't get a cancellation, but maybe we end up moving. I I don't see, because this takes place during the High Republic. I don't see this not being a part of their let's call it mission for what they're doing with the High Republic as a stepping stone in Star Wars. I don't see them just letting this become. There's no way they get in a call with these guys and they're like, "Oh, look, Mickey, we're having some problems. We might not see this game for 10 years." Those Disney snipers are gonna load up and start firing, man. And the next thing you know, it'll be Star Wars Eclipse by Naughty Dog. Like, there's just no way that this just gets pushed to the way. 1313, I think, was a little different.
Like yeah, I think 1313 got canceled mainly because that was during the period that Disney had purchased Lucasfilms, and they were just trying to wipe the slate clean, create their own canon. I think for a good couple of years, the fan base was really hurt that the expanded and extended universe was kind of like shoved to the wayside. But we've seen them reincorporate certain things from the old canon to the new canon, and I just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I think at this point, I don't see this going to another studio. If it doesn't get canceled, I think Quantic Dreams is going to be the studio that finishes it. I just think it won't be as bad to Disney, considering that it's now open season for Star Wars game.
Yeah.
That the EA exclusivity has been ended. We have Ubisoft coming out with an open world Star Wars game. It's rumored to be a Mandalorian game, by the way. We have a bunch of other Star Wars games. I heard one is going to be like an XCOM type of game set in the High Republic.
Don't get me excited. Don't you get me excited.
So, I think there's plenty in the next couple of years that's going to come out to kind of mitigate and at least like keep us patient for Star Wars Eclipse. If it does come out, I really hope it does. I really hope it does.
Here, same. Moving on. It's funny. I'm actually looking at our little run of show. I'm looking at our next topic, and there's a bulletin. There's a bullet that just has nothing on. And I don't know how I missed that. Moving on. Pokemon Gen 9, our last topic for the night. I gotta be honest. I thought it was announced much sooner than I thought they would announce another generation of Pokemon. Much sooner. Maybe I need a refresher. When did Sword and Shield come out? I'm gonna search it, so you don't necessarily have to answer. But Sword and Shield, Sword and Shield came out in 2019.
Yeah,
that's Gen 8.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild.
So like, it's time for a new mainline Pokemon game. But I feel what you're saying. It does feel like too soon. And I think it's because Pokemon Legends just came out. I think if that didn't just come out, it would have felt like the perfect time to do it. But yeah, I agree with you.
So do you think that the success of Pokemon Legends Arceus, because if I remember reading correctly, its sales numbers were ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it far exceeded expectation. But do you think the success of Legends Arceus is why they even announced it?
I don't know. I feel like this was already all planned. At this point, like this game has been in development for a couple of years at this point, right? So I think this was part of their marketing beats. I think it's a little coincidental that it came out around the same, or that the announcement happened around the same time that Pokemon Legends came out. Uh, I feel like Pokemon Legends being successful would have meant that they would have delayed this announcement, not move it up sooner, if that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. I understand. I don't know. It's not that I'm not excited. I know that like people are probably watching and they're hearing me and they're hearing me sigh and stuff. Like it's not that I'm not excited. It's just I don't know if it's too soon. You know, like I've always been of the mind since we got the Hello Pikachu and Hello Eevee. I've always been of the mind that they were using those games as kind of tester game because we didn't need them. They weren't really anything new for the franchise. They were dumbed down Pokemon, like extraordinarily watered down. And the only real new thing that really got people excited was you could see Pokemon in the overworld. So, but not even like it didn't feel special to see them in the overworld. It just felt like something they were trying. And then we got Sword and Shield, where again we saw them in the overworld, but again it didn't feel special. They were there, like it was less hide and seek and more, oh, I want that, or I'm gonna go fight that. So of course, for me when Legends Arceus got announced, I was like, this is that. This is what they were testing those waters for. They wanted to see what would get people excited. So I think that's what this is. And as exciting as a concept as that is for me, I still think it was too soon.
I think we're gonna have to wait and see until the end of the year. I think going forward, we're probably going to be getting multiple Pokemon games a year. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that franchise prints money. We'll have to see. I'm concerned that Pokemon Legends, being what it was, might cannibalize some of the sales for Pokemon. Was it Scarlet?
Yeah, it's and Scarlet Violet? And is it Violet? It's Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Team Violet over here, all the way. By the way. No. I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. The announcement did come to a surprise. Like it did surprise me a little bit. I don't know. We'll have to see. It looks like a continuation of Sword and Shield. It looks more like that than it does Pokemon Legends, which it makes me a little sad because Pokemon Legends is kind of the direction I've been wanting Pokemon to go for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
If they kind of just like go backwards, it'll feel a little weird for me.
That's fair. That can make sense. So let's talk about the important thing, right? Let's get into the nitty gritty. What everybody really wants to hear. Why people may have came here for Pokemon.
So like I like to do this thing where I don't choose the one that Mia chooses because just I don't know if we are gonna battle, I want to be able to like kind of like have an advantage a little bit because she played Pokemon for a lot longer than I have, so I need a handicap. She is going to choose Sprigatito. That's absolutely what she's going with. I'm going to be going with Donald Duck or whatever that duck character is called. I think I lost you audio-wise.
There we go. Haha. Sorry. Weird thing happened. I'm sorry. You're going with Quaxley. Quaxley looks like a bitch.
Oh jeez. So which one are you going with?
I'm going with Sprigatito, my guy.
Oh damn it! That's a safe pick. You're lucky you chose that one because I can't trash talk that one if I want to sleep in my own bed tonight.
Like, I'm sorry. I gotta say this. He looked like a snitch. Quaxley looks like a snitch.
Yeah, he does, which is why I call him Donald Duck.
I'm just saying, I feel like I don't want to tell him anything. Look how intense he's looking at you, and it's the hair for me. Like everyone says it looks like a hat or a wing. It looks like he has a slick back. And like it looks like he's that's how he looks like. What's the old Michael Douglas movie?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The one where he's like an executive?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I forget what it's called. He looks like that. He looks like he wants to like commit corporate espionage. And it makes me so uncomfortable. He looks like privilege.
I think the main reason I want to choose him is because I saw some of like the leaked images of the like, evolutions and stuff, and he does end up looking pretty cool. But I do agree.
You know, none of those are real right now.
Right.
You know they not.
We'll have to wait and see. I also have an affinity for water types. That tends to be my move, mainly because I like the color blue and I love the water. Yeah,
that's fair.
That's why I'm going.
I mean, he looks like his dad owns a yacht anyway, so like that's fine. Like, go where your heart wants to go. No Fuecoco? You don't want to get Fuecoco?
Fuecoco looks really cute.
He's so adorable.
Look at him. He looks like he's having so much fun. He's just happy to be there.
He looks so fucking happy.
Maybe closer to the game, I might change my mind. But I think I'm gonna stick with my gut and go with Quaxly.
Yeah, no, I need the weed cat. I need the weed cat. Let's be real. Cat. Like, we can all be honest. We're all adults here. That's a weed cat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a weed cat. Sprigatito. That's the homie. I'm going with Sprigatito. And I'm naming mine Mary Jane, regardless of gender.
Mary Jane.
Regardless of gender.
Oh man.
Well, I have to read this comment because it just made me so happy. He looks like he's walking to an all-you-can-eat buffet full of joy. Like, that is Fuecoco. He's so cute. He's so cute. He really is. It hurts me how cute he is. It really does. I don't know if he's an Italian region. I don't know about that. I've heard Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Spain. I think it's definitely Spain, which, hurts me because I was excited for the idea of Italy. I don't mind Spain. I love the Spanish culture. It's going to be very interesting to see how they incorporate that into the world. I think Sword and Shield was England, so this is like the complete opposite of England that you can get. So that's going to be an interesting aspect of it.
Oh yeah, I remember reading I remember reading that it seemed like they were hinting towards India. Something along the lines of, I forget what the elephant Pokemon name is, but where it's from. It's the professor from Legends Arceus apparently is like from the same place, and it's heavily hinted at that place is like India inspired. So I became aware of this after I saw the trailer for Violet and Scarlet, but I would have actually really liked to see an India. There's a lot of conversation about the diversity of the regions in Pokemon on TikTok right now, and a lot of people are calling for an Africa region and an India region. And I actually think those would both be very interesting. Don't get me wrong, I think Spain would also be really interesting. India and Africa would be really dope.
Do you know, like, I was actually having this conversation with Mia a couple weeks ago. I would absolutely love to see, like, South America as well.
Oh, it'd be great.
That'd be really cool.
It'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it does seem like most of the Pokemon regions have that very samey feel to them. This does look it looks at least completely different than Sword and Shield did, which gives me a little bit of hope that they're going to be a little bit more diverse in the future. But I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, India would be really cool. Africa would be freaking awesome. Australia would be great. I don't know, man. Like the Nordic regions would be great.
That'd be cool. Yeah. From what I've heard, I think to my understanding, the Pokemon company bases their games off of where they have headquarters. like their locations, or not necessarily headquarters, but where they have like workers stationed and stuff like that, so that they can get a better understanding of the culture in that region before they go there, which is really dope considering, some people would say of the Japanese that they're not very I don't want to say inclusive of certain cultures, but that they tend to know what they know. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So it would be really dope, but like I think if that is their goal, I don't think they have headquarters in India or Africa or a good number of places. Ethnocentric is the word that that popped up in chat that might describe that well. So unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately because it's not out of the realm of possibility. I would like to see those regions of the world be brought to light one day. That would actually
be. Maybe all in one game, like with the way things are going into a live service model, it'd be cool to have a Pokemon where you can visit multiple regions in one game.
That would be cool. Finally get that Pokemon MMO we've been wanting. Most
we
of
have
us
a live action Sprigatito right here.
There she is, right there. All right, guys, we're gearing up towards the end here. We weren't gonna do this, but we're gonna do it. We will be featuring a 1v1. A 1v1. I have been challenged by a member of the chat themselves, AjDarkfire, to 1v1 Apollo in Smite. So we are going to do that. We're going to step away for a moment. We're going to set that up. It's probably going to be quick. I'm going to try my best, but we are going to give you my point of view. And it will be casted by the wonderful Utopian Revolt. He will be doing some wonderful Smite casting. Stay tuned. We're going to go to break. I'm hearing don't do it, but I have to do it. I have to do it. I told them I would. I already checkmarked it in the Discord. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for the final segment of our show. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a slaughter. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to the matchup of the century. Hopefully, I'm not gonna lie. I'm more than likely going to get absolutely wrecked. And you all get to enjoy it. Hold on, I gotta turn that music off. Give me just a second. There's so much go. There we go. All right, music is paused. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. I'm scared. AjDarkfire is gonna wreck my shit.
Music is very loud.
I turned it down. There was a bit of a process involved. All right. Match accepted. We're going in. I'm not prepared for this at all, and I'm going to be mostly quiet for this. I need to. Do your best to cast. I'm expecting nothing special.
All right. Well, today we have OgGoblin Games as Apollo versus AjDarkfire as Apollo. The match of the century. We shall see who comes out victorious. May the best man win.
Oh no, he's got that skin.
Yeah, something tells me that you're in for a rough time.
I'm in for something. Oh, I'm in for something. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Like, all right, I'm shutting up now. All right.
Alrighty.
I actually don't even know. I'm sorry. One last thing. I don't know the parameters of this. So it's just happening.
Hey man, I'm learning right there with you. So let's see. OgGoblin walks forward and backwards. He seems to be confused.
So to be clear, I know the mode. I just don't know. Oh, whoever kills Titan. Okay, that's what we're doing. Whoever kills Titan.
Okay. Alright, so let's see. We have the minions spawning now. Alright, we're going in for some points here, for some XP. Let's go. You know, it would probably help if I played Smite in the past. Oh, okay. And this is Apollo? Okay. Alright.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Getting some nice XP. Finally getting some tower action here. Alright, level up. See, I don't know how much I should be saying because I don't want to give him the advantage, but I feel like he already
My keys aren't the same. My keys aren't the same.
AjDarkfire brings in that first blood. Congratulations.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Came out of nowhere. Alrighty. We're getting some more action here. Minions are committing. AjDarkfire goes in for the attack. Oh, does some pretty heavy damage. Oh, second kill by AjDarkfire.
God.
This is starting off the way that we all thought it would.
Wow, the way we all thought it would? My spirit. Wait a minute. Let's reconfirm that I have no idea what's happening. I have not played in so long.
You'll get your chance to dominate other people in other games. I think this one is very much to the advantage of Mr. Darkfire.
Yeah.
Oh, surprise attack! Surprise attack! Oh, he goes in for the third kill! Oh, man. That's heartbreaking.
Your middle
Score is 0-3 right now.
Your middle tower has been destroyed.
Oh man, alright. AjDarkfire making some nice moves here. Middle tower already destroyed. Oh my god, goes in for the attack again. He gets another kill. That's the fourth. In what, 5 minutes? That's insane. He's relentless right now.
Your middle phoenix is under attack.
Or anything.
Man, listen, the Goblin gang is vicious. Let me tell you. Alright. No sign of AjDarkfire right now. That could be good news. That could be disastrous news. We'll have to wait and see.
Keep an eye out, eh?
Some minion action here. OG Goblin Games starting to make a little push here. The furthest I think he's gone so far. Oh, AjDarkfire trying to come from behind. Goes in for the attack. Some nice little ranged combat going on here. Just relentless, just holding off OG Goblin, not letting him advance at all. Alright, some recall in action here.
I have no fucking
Oh.
gold. Like, I don't have any gold.
Alright, so, if you can, walk us through your strategy right now. Well, how are you going to beat AjDarkfire?
Well, the first things first, I need to get some gold. I will not serve much of a chance at all if I can't get my economy up. That is my first step. I'm also not gonna push because I see him right there. Yeah, I see you, buddy. He's at an advantage. He's at a severe gold advantage right now. He's also got the chance to farm a lot harder than I have. So,
His basic attack seems to be doing like double the damage that yours does to him.
yeah, that tracks. He's more than likely going to take this tower as well.
Oh man, he goes in for the attack again to AJ.
I've made a
gets
terrible
fifth
mistake
kill.
and ulted. I did not even.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Fifth
yeah.
kill.
I made a fatal error in not changing my keys before I played.
Alright, looks like AJ's eyeing the finish line here. Trying to get through this Phoenix so he can get to the title.
I also have not turned off my auto buy, so that's a thing.
Okay. Well, AJ's at half health. Oh, you're meeting like at a third of your health. Oh my god, AjDarkfire is relentless right now.
I'm also not an idiot. Leave me alone, bro.
Oh my god, he's coming in.
I swear to God.
Oh my god, 6 kills. He does not give an F right now. It's crazy.
Oh man.
This is an ass beating of which we've never seen before.
I appreciate the confidence from everyone. If it's any consolation, I knew going into this that I was going to
This
lose.
seems a bit menial.
Listen, you gotta give the audience what they want, you know?
Yes, exactly. I told people I was gonna do these. I'm gonna do it. I just have to play smart. I have to play smart here. Like, it's not over yet. Like, it's not over yet, but it's pretty darn close. He's getting a chance to farm the buffs, and I know that I can't go up against him right now. So he's at his. What the hell was that? He's at a huge advantage right now, and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
You're essentially cornered right now. Like,
I am.
No matter which direction you go, he's going to be there waiting for you.
Yes, and it's unfortunate, but it is true.
Yeah.
There he is, over there. The only way for me to go from here is up, like, in my opinion.
Right.
The problem also is I don't play enough. I've played one time in the last year or so.
Oh jeez, he's coming right at you. Oh my god, AjDarkfire is going in for the attack. He's getting some nice heavy damage in there. Can OG Goblin survive? Oh, it looks like OG Goblin survived to see another day. Alright, some heavy damage being thrown into AjDarkfire's way. Is that gonna matter? No!
I wasn't able to ult up. This is an L. This is an L. This is a strong L.
What a ridiculous turnaround! Oh man! Oh my god!
Yes, I do. There's not much point in building anything right now. I kind of want to accept my fate, but I'm not going out like that. Because mama ain't raised no bitch.
Alright, AjDarkfire going for that Titan, trying to just end this right now. Part of me tells, yeah, I think he wants to go for you instead of the Titan.
He leveled so fast, and it hurt me pretty bad.
Yes. Oh, he's going straight for you. He does not care about the Titan right now. AjDarkfire wants that 8th kill. Will he get it? We will have to see. Still going on the attack. He's not letting up on that attack. Relentless. Oh! Can OG Goblin get him? Oh no!
Nope.
Alright, AjDarkfire's in trouble here. Can he reverse this situation?
Shut down.
Oh, first kill of the match for OG
I got one, and that's I feel fine about it.
You're on the board. You're on the board. There is a very slim chance of victory here,
It's
but
so
there is a
slim.
chance.
It's so slim that it hurts.
Keep an eye out, eh?
Alright, starting to get some aggression going here.
I don't want to push too hard.
Man, Smite's so much fun.
I do love playing it. I just wish I was better at it.
Oh, AjDarkfire's going in for the
Oh, he got me. He got me. He got me. He got me. Wow,
Oh
the
my
taunt.
God.
You have been slain.
His 8th kill of the match.
I'm hurt. It might have just been like a brief spike in bad stream quality. Let me know if it's still bad. We will go forward. Yes, it's GG's. That's the end.
AjDarkfire going in for the finish here. And OG Goblin fend them off right now. Oh, does heavy damage. Oh! OG Goblin has managed to prolong the game just a bit longer.
Just a bit. Literally just a bit.
Oh,
You
there it
have
is.
been
There it
slain.
is. 9th kill of the match, and that
GG's.
ends the 1v1.
GG's. We all knew what it was gonna be. Like, we all knew what it was gonna be. Ugh.
Congratulations to Mr. AjDarkfire.
I tried. And I think that's what's important here. I tried.
Right. Right.
I think I know why it's been bad on and off. The stream's been kind of back and forth. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, it was too blurry. I apologize. I don't really. It loaded in an old build that I had on there, so I don't really know what I built. To be completely honest with you guys, it was a thing. It was a thing. We can go back and revisit this later. I'm gonna go cry, and not play Smite again for ages.
I mean, it seemed like you had fun. Fun is a relative term here, but it did seem like you had fun.
I had fun. He beat me with one experience. Let's get one thing clear. Any god he picked or I picked for him, he would have absolutely annihilated me. I don't play the game well enough. He's ranked. He plays ranked. He absolutely annihilated me there. He put pressure on. He knew what to do. He knew what to go for, and It is what it is. I lost to a skill far greater than my own.
Relentless, man. He was relentless. It was obvious he wanted that W.
Oh yeah,
From the very beginning.
Oh yeah, and just to address this comment that I should have let someone else pick, your bad gods are still better than my best god. So let's get that out of the way. And it's not even about the gods, honestly. It's also mechanics. You understand the mechanics of the game better than I do. So see me in Valorant. How about that? Come see me in Valorant. Oh man, it's been fun, man. It's been a good experience.
Yeah.
I look forward to the next Geeks and Goblins. We are reaching the end here. Utopian, where can they find you? Where can they find you?
Oh man. Well, you can find me currently on the OG Goblins Discord, the Goblin Gang. You definitely find me there. Find me on future OG Goblin streams. I am in the process of building out my own platform, so hopefully that's able to go live within the next couple of weeks. Still plenty of work to do on that end. But you're going to be finding me every week on Geeks and Goblins. You're going to be able to also see me in the Wizarding World RPG that's coming up very soon. Super excited for both of these new extensions of the Goblinverse, if you will.
There we go. I'm super excited, happy to have you here, man. Like, it's been fun. Next week, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We build it as the week goes. I look forward to having you on literally twice a week, it seems like, is really when you'll be here. And, of course, I look forward to you in the comments. Guys, please go follow his Twitch page, Utopian Revolt, if I'm correct. It hasn't changed.
Yes, correct.
Please go follow his Twitch page, because when his Twitch gets popping, you know who we're rating. You know who we're talking about. We're sending all the Goblin Gang love over there. Please, please, please show some Goblin spam love for Utopian Revolt. And also, please, let us know in the Discord. Go to Twitter, in the comments. Let us know, what did you think of Geeks and Goblins? What are some other segments and types of things you would like to see? I was reading the chat. I'm sorry we weren't able to get to everything. We try to, like, keep it on topic so that way we are running tight and efficient. We went over today a little bit, but it's all right. It's all right. Keep the 1v1s coming. If you want a 1v1 Utopian, by all means, please send them in the Discord. Let us know. Like, if y'all want to catch the smoke in something, or if y'all want to deliver the smoke, the hands, the fisticuffs, let us know. But that is about our time. Oh, we have complaints about the time. I'm sorry. Apparently, I've only been streaming for 1 hour and 54 minutes. I'm used to giving them 5 more minutes. So, do you have anything you want to say in these 5 minutes?
Maybe we can open it up to chat. Like, maybe we can have a discussion on like what they would like to see going forward from Geeks and Goblins. Of course, like Chris just mentioned, I'm absolutely down to be doing 1v1s. It can't be just him getting embarrassed on the stream. It has to be me as well. It's
hopefully
fair,
not.
Right? It is Geeks and Goblins, not just goblins, right? So, yeah. Do you guys have any ideas? I think I saw a Friendly Feline mention earlier that she would like us to talk about the Haunted Chocolatier. That sounds like it'd be great. Once it's getting closer to launch. Let's see. Let me scroll through the comments. We have also talked about maybe having a segment where you guys kind of correct us on anything that we've gotten wrong during the episode, and then maybe, incorporating it to the beginning of the next episode.
Like Robert Patterson.
So that'd be cool. Right. Robert Patterson.
Let me address something really quick that someone has brought up in the comments. DJP squared. Also, since I did not do my typical "What's going on, Goblin Gang?" We're happy to see you here. Let me address something about raids really quickly. I am very much an inclusive person. I'm very much I watch who I send you guys to, and I watch out for the streams that I don't want to just raid whoever. Let me put it that way. I do not want to just drop you guys off on anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know where I could be leading you guys. For all we know, the person that we decide to stream could end up being an absolutely terrible person. Doesn't say anything, shows no appreciation. So it's not a matter of like, you know, I forget to raid or anything like that. I love you guys very deeply as a community, and I will never ever want to drop you guys off somewhere I'm not comfortable. So that's why, frankly, the only person I've really ever dropped you guys off with is Diverse, because his content is good. He's got a great community. He's welcoming to that community. So I will raid in the future, but my goal, and I think it shows with Geeks and Goblins, my goal is to build a community of people, a network that is Goblin gaming. Utopian Revolt is part of that. I want to have anyone else who delivers good content. I want to create an actual stream team of people that have a network around them, so that way they can feel included, and we can build off of that and build the community that we want to see. So if you want me to raid, if you want to see me raid more, send me people that you want to see me raid. Send me people that you are in their chat with, that you're comfortable with, that you know personally, that will take this community and treat them with respect, treat them with love, and treat them with dignity. And then I will raid. Or at least until Utopian Revolt starts streaming, then I will raid. If I can get Saint Dimitri, who is not here, and it hurts me, like, that once he potentially joins the team, because we've been talking about it, then I will raid. So it's not personal. It's just, you know, I want to make sure you guys are with people that are going to. And that's how you pad out 5 minutes. Let's read through some of these comments. Can Alex talk about what games he would like to 1v1 for?
Honestly, I'm fine with 1v1ing anything. Of course, if it's a game I haven't played, I'm not going to be very good at it, but I'm willing to give it a shot anyways. Yeah, absolutely anything.
Okay. So maybe we should do a 1v1 at some point as well. Like,
that'd be fun.
Know,
that'd be fun. Geeks versus Goblins. That'd be pretty cool.
Ooh, Geeks versus Goblins. We can like recruit players from the gang as well. That would be lit.
That'd be pretty cool.
Let's see. Hey, now you want to see?
You imagine?
Say what?
I was just gonna say, imagine on like Knockout City, we have a full squad of just Geeks and Goblins.
Ooh, now that would be lit. Like, oh, we could have some tournaments and stuff at some point or another. That would be amazing. DJ P Squared said, now I want to see you and Danny 1v1, pardon, on COD. You know what's funny? I just uninstalled COD, but I think we. Oh, excuse me. I think we could make it happen if she'd be down for that. Could a 1v1 with someone else. You just want to like give people smoke. And I did see the game that you tagged in the Discord. It does look super, super interesting. I am 100% going to take a look at it. What else? Josh versus Andreas 1v1, and you guys cast him. I'd be down to see that. Maybe have some guest casters come on whenever we stream things. We do the 1v1s. We could do a lot of stuff. When are you getting another Apex stream? Ooh. Do you have Apex?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. I probably should have specified.
I do have Apex. Yes.
We can do that anytime soon. The gaming, actually, Monday I don't have anything going on, so if you're free on Monday, we'll try to get something going. But yeah, no, I can absolutely play some more Apex soon. It's so nice to get the recommendations out loud. Most people, when I ask, like, what do you want to see? Everyone's just kind of like, silence. This is great. This is great. Destiny, we can do some Destiny. Rematch, emergency exit in KO City. You will wash me right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I have not played in 8. I have not played in so long.
I think we lost your audio. I might be wrong.
Mic check 1 2. Nope, we're here. Or did you just lose me? Hello. Okay. He's gone. Something happened.
Might just be me.
It's probably just you. No, I haven't. Oh, you haven't played either. That's perfect. And no, I did not see your Discord message yet. I'm about to hop off. It looks like your quality's going a little bit, and I don't want this to get awkward. So, as per usual, guys, thank you for tuning in to OG Goblin Gaming presents Geeks and Goblins, featuring the one and only Utopian Revolt. You guys know where to find us, man. Come and enjoy Geeks and Goblins again next Friday with Utopian Revolt and I. We don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be great. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we will see you on the next one. Everybody, good night.